But it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him. And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on in bed.
In a shocking turn of events, alarming information has just leaked from federal sources about the dangerous situation surrounding Jaguar, Wright, and Katt Williams. What makes this revelation particularly disturbing is that some of Diddy's questionable business associates have allegedly put bounties on their heads, all because they've been too vocal about what they know. For years, both Jaguar and Katt have been sounding alarms about Diddy's activities long before the public caught wind of any controversies. At the time, people dismissed them as bitter individuals spreading baseless claims, but now that the truth is starting to surface, they're facing serious consequences for their bravery in speaking out. The attempts to silence them have already begun. Jaguar has faced 2 separate attempts to put her behind bars, but perhaps even more chilling is what happened to Katt Williams. According to Jaguar's account, armed intruders stormed Katt's residence in the dead of night, presumably with lethal intentions. The details of his escape remain mysterious, but the incident left such deep psychological scars that Katt resorted to extreme measures for protection. The most heartbreaking detail: Katt began sleeping in Kevlar, a bulletproof vest, every single night. Imagine having to wear such heavy protective gear just to get some rest, all while constantly looking over your shoulder. The situation has become so dire that their very lives appear to be hanging in the balance.
Forget the day when they breached the house and I left. You know, back in that moment, Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on.
The timing of the armed attack on Katt wasn't random. It coincided with a bitter behind-the-scenes conflict that had been brewing between the comedian and the network. According to Jaguar's explosive claims, the root of this dangerous feud stemmed from Comedy Central's alleged demands for Katt to participate in some deeply disturbing on-camera activities. When he took a stand and refused to compromise his principles, the situation apparently escalated far beyond typical industry disagreements.
And him, at the moment where it made you want to speak your truth.
He went after Comedy Central. That's what happened. The Flavor Flav roast. The moment that I knew the Snoop Dogg is sold out. That was a hurtful moment. To humiliate Flav. Like, humiliate him. Like, no bar. And they sent a bunch of jokes. And I'll never forget watching Katt in the office downstairs at the house in Marina Del Rey. And he's sitting there looking at and just shaking his head. And then the next thing you know, the phone rang and I'm standing there in the office in the doorway and I'm like, are you all right? And he picked up the phone and it was Comedy Central. And I listened to him threatening him. He said, I'm not doing this. You are not going to get a black man, a real black man, to agree to do this to another black man. $. It was a terrible day. And then that's when all the incidents started happening. Them sending people to the house. Them putting plants backstage at the shows. I mean, I was on tour with him for American Hustle.
Right.
I was on set for First Sunday.
Right. He said he got arrested over 30 times. Yeah. No convictions.
I'm getting close.
Go ahead.
But it's been about 30 for him. It's been 8 for me.
Yes.
He felony, I felony. You know, it was just terrible. And when I would think back to that moment, and then they called him the day before filming it, and was he going there? And he said no. And then the next thing you know, production went on later on that day, and Snoop was already ready. And Snoop did everything that Comedy Central asked. That Flavor Flav roast was Katt's. That was his moment. The Flavor Flav roast and the death of Malik B are the same.
Jaguar disclosed the deeper connection between herself and Katt Williams, a friendship that would ultimately help expose Hollywood's darkest corners. What many didn't know was that Katt had actually been the catalyst for Jaguar's journey into whistleblowing. Their relationship runs deeper than most realized, spanning several years during which they've shared not just friendship, but a commitment to unveiling uncomfortable truths. It was Katt, already known for his fearless approach to calling out industry corruption, who gave Jaguar the courage to step forward and share her own experiences of Hollywood's hidden underbelly. This revelation sheds new light on why both of them have become such prominent targets.
When he walked into the club, and I was sitting at my table, it was my birthday party, and Special Ed brought him. And Katt was playing the amphitheater, and he wanted to meet me. And he came to my party, gave me about 20 grand in cash and said, consider it a down payment on your time. He taught me so much in 9 months. Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him.
The web of danger has only grown wider, with Jaguar finding herself in increasingly perilous situations, especially since she expanded her exposés beyond Diddy to include powerhouse couple Jay and Beyoncé. What started as focused revelations about Diddy has snowballed into something far more dangerous, with each new disclosure seemingly raising the stakes. The catalyst for Jaguar's crusade against industry corruption traces back to a particularly disturbing account from one of Diddy's former lawyers. This legal insider shared a shocking incident involving Christopher Williams, a straight artist seeking a record deal, that demonstrated the horrifying abuse of power within the industry. According to Jaguar's account, Diddy allegedly forced Williams into a degrading sexual situation, not out of desire, but as a twisted display of dominance and control over aspiring artists.
See, Christopher Williams, I don't know, I guess he wanted to sign. I don't know what happened. But Puff was supposed to be giving him a demo deal, and he gave him a demo deal, and I guess it was supposed to turn into an album deal, which that never happened. But this young woman walked in to get approval on some paperwork, see. And when she walked in, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing fellatio on Puff. Now, from what she said to me, it was disturbing because, you know, they didn't stop. She just walked out, and she just kept her head down at the office the rest of the day, I believe it was. And I don't think it was at the end of business day that day, but I think it was the following day. He came into her office and was like, yeah, so you came in there, so what you gonna do? You wanna say something? And she was like, oh no, she was like, I just don't understand why you left the door unlocked. If you were in there doing that, why would you leave the door unlocked? He said, I'll do whatever the I want to do in my building. And she's, I just don't know. He was like, it's power, see? I can make a man, he said, if I can make a man, I can make people do anything.
According to Jaguar's claims, the story of Foxy Brown reveals another dark pattern of powerful men in the industry allegedly exploiting young, aspiring artists. The accusations paint a disturbing picture. A then underage Foxy Brown reportedly found herself in an exploitative situation where her music career aspirations were allegedly used as leverage. These claims suggest that the relationship ended when Jay-Z began dating Beyoncé, who, while legally an adult at 18, was still notably young when their relationship began.
Yeah, Foxy deaf. She deaf because she had the syphilis, because she never got on a venereal disease treated. Y'all should go back and talk to all of the she slept with in Philly when she was in Philly. She burned every last one of them.
The stakes escalated dramatically when Jaguar took her allegations to a global platform, appearing on Piers Morgan's show where she dropped several bombshell claims that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Her appearance wasn't just another interview, it was a calculated move to bring these allegations into the mainstream spotlight. Among her most startling claims was the suggestion of Jay-Z's alleged hidden role in the investigation surrounding Diddy. But perhaps even more shocking was her bringing up Aaliyah's tragic death, suggesting there might be more to the story than the public has been told. Jaguar's claim about having access to 3 individuals who she says are willing to step forward. According to her, these people are prepared to testify in court about their alleged experiences with both Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
Publicly, Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
Potentially, do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
Guess they're on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
She also mentioned that Diddy plans to expose all of this once the trial begins, and that anyone who thinks differently simply isn't paying attention.
Go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
Guess they're on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are.
While many expected the industry's retaliation against Jaguar to come in the form of legal action, the reality proved far more sinister. Instead of courtroom battles, she's reportedly facing something much more dangerous: apparent attempts on her life. The situation has become so dire that she's publicly pleading for protection, her voice carrying an urgency that suggests she knows more than she's even revealed. The first sign of this alleged intimidation campaign came through what appeared to be a suspiciously selective law enforcement action. Jaguar's arrest over an unreturned U-Haul truck raised eyebrows across social media. After all, late U-Haul returns are hardly uncommon, yet rarely result in arrests. The timing and nature of this arrest seemed calculated, bearing all the hallmarks of a power play designed to send her a message. But if this was meant to silence Jaguar, it backfired spectacularly. Rather than cowering, she came forward to expose the arrest for what she claims it really was: a coordinated attempt to intimidate her into silence.
Oh, every time I've been arrested for something that I didn't do, and yet nobody said, but did he get arrested finally and get the ready to be thrown at his very, very, very dancing feet? Y'all watch me get arrested there just for bringing Gene Deal to town.
Jaguar took to Instagram Live the day after her Piers Morgan appearance, unleashing even more explosive allegations. Her fearless approach in the face of mounting pressure was evident as she directly accused Jay-Z and Beyoncé of orchestrating her legal troubles, claiming they wielded their influence to have felony charges brought against her, an apparent attempt to force her into silence. But perhaps the most bizarre twist in her revelations came when she ventured into more esoteric territory, suggesting that the power couple's influence over their followers wasn't purely based on talent and charisma. Her claims about their alleged use of witchcraft to maintain their devoted following added an almost supernatural element to an already complex narrative.
Unnecessary court fees and litigations because Jay-Z wants me broken, stopped, or under his control. And it ain't gonna happen, Sean. I'm never gonna be under your control. Never. You need to learn how to control your wife and her friends and their mouths. Because you got Beyonce in the Beehive looking real right now. 5 million unfollowed, and that number's gonna go up with every image in one of those freak-off tapes. And God help, if anybody here had that talks about people with her, they'll start unfollowing by the tens of hundreds. Again. And they should. Because the truth is, the only reason they were following was because of the witchcraft and the spells that were being pushed out through the media. Y'all ain't fans because y'all really love them and y'all really think they're the best. You're fans because you fell for the hype. And they are hypes. I know I can sing. I've been able to do that my whole life. And they've been trying to stop me my whole career. Because see, unlike Beyonce, I'm not willing to hurt people to get famous. See, that's the part of the story that they're not telling y'all. That the more terrible you are, the more they'll protect you.
The pattern of legal pressure against Jaguar has taken on an even more sinister meaning as people begin connecting disturbing dots, particularly regarding the tragic fate of TikTok creator Kyle Marissa. The parallels between their situations have sent shivers through social media, with many noting a disturbing pattern emerging for those who dare to speak out. Just days before her shocking death, Kyle had fearlessly posted detailed breakdowns of Diddy's legal troubles, reaching millions of viewers with her unfiltered analysis. Her videos, which gained massive traction, seemed to strike a nerve with powerful figures in the industry.
Listen, some of the men who claim to have stories about his private life have given him the name General High. So, Mr. Freakoff is Diddy, General High TD Jakes. I'm sure you can do the math on how that got there, that nickname. Sorry guys, I'm flustered right now. This is huge. Young Miami, the girlfriend of the wannabe rapper who was also named in a very recent lawsuit, has started selling off all of her possessions online. This is from March 4th. It sounds like the wannabe rapper cut her off financially. So Diddy cuts his girlfriend Young Miami off on March 4th. You are like almost exactly 20 days later. That's him. Like I said, he was offloading all of his assets into offshore bank accounts, and with his mommy and with his kids, he didn't have any more cash in his bank accounts for Young Miami to get.
But beyond Diddy, she has also made videos calling out other celebrities, including J-Lo, the Kardashians, and even the royal family. She mentioned that Jay would be the next person to be exposed, revealing that his ties with Diddy run much deeper than anyone had imagined.
There would be a fair chance he would be in jail by the time Labor Day rolled around, so canceled his festival. Why does Jay-Z allegedly think that there is a fair chance he will be in jail by the time Labor Day has rolled around? We will find out soon because we are doing the Jay-Z Platinum Deep Dive next on the Patreon, and now, woo! But anyway, that's the latest. But also, and I cannot stress this enough, Beyonce is not her husband, and she was also allegedly heavily Jay-Z.
The depth of this conspiracy appears to run far deeper than anyone initially suspected, with both Katt and Jaguar seemingly possessing knowledge of seismic revelations set to emerge this year. Their confident predictions about 2024 being the year everything comes out suggest they're holding on to information that could shake the entertainment industry to its core, information that's apparently been building for a decade. Public reaction has been particularly telling, with many drawing parallels between how Jaguar and Katt are being treated and the similar patterns of dismissal faced by other outspoken figures like Orlando Brown and Kanye West. A recurring theme emerges. Those who speak out against the industry's power players often find themselves labeled as crazy, a tactic that many now recognize as a deliberate strategy to discredit whistleblowers.